busy day for you. Today, you're going to be hosting the Speaker of the House.
The Speaker of the House will be coming in for a rally at 5:30 at the Pavilion right there in Marion. We're hoping to get a good crowd out. Sounds like we're going to. Of course, we're not just doing that. We're going up north. There's some, not the Speaker, but I and actually Randy Holcren is a representative, U.S. Congressman that served in the House with me originally. He's in town. We're going through the district talking about some specific jobs. There's a railroad spur up in the Alton area. We're going up to visit and doing some other things today. But, yeah, from here on out, it's busy.
And this is going to sound facetious, and I don't mean it that way, Mike, but why do you think that there's not one single, all the messaging that's going on right now, why hasn't one single Democrat gone, Obamacare is a great idea, I love it, I voted for it, and I think it's wonderful. Show me one that said that. One.
There's not one, and the reason being is because, once again, they wanted to pass it so they could find out what it did. Tom, that's, as I've said so many times during this campaign, that's not the way you do legislation. So the question is where do we go from here? We'll see what happens in the election, but regardless of what happens in the election, something must be changed. My fear is that come January 1, when all of these restrictions that the president has been putting on this bill, even though I don't think it was constitutional to do it, he put the restrictions on. It's like and that's the best way I can say it. I said it earlier. It's going to be like releasing the hounds come January.
Yeah.
And that's very, very scary because they still don't really know the long-term impact. There are several bills that are over there that can modify it, that are on Harry Reid's desk, that could have done something, but they've just laid there.
Well, when some of these reports are coming in from at least three states off the top of my mind, Alaska, Louisiana, Mississippi, I think they are, with 39% increases in your monthly payment. That's something to be watching. CNN did this poll. It's just come out that 7 in 10 Americans are mad or very mad at the direction of this country. 70% of the Americans are mad about how government is handled out of Washington.
Well, it's not just Washington, it's Springfield too, but yeah. I mean, this is the problem. Remember why it is that Eric Cantor lost. Now, I'm talking about a Republican here. I thought he would have been a great leader. Was a great leader, but he went to Washington and forgot the people who sent him and why he was sent there. I don't think he forgot why he was sent there, but he forgot the people who sent him and didn't keep in constant contact with them. We are a representative form of government. We must make sure that we listen to the people, but the people don't feel like anybody listens to them anymore.
Or they're pandered to the point where, election year promises are almost proverbially taken as lies, and
Sure.
that's part of the problem. And we continue to see this move forward here because you talked a moment ago about jobs, and when you look at the county reports for the month in Southern Illinois, and you see as many counties as we have with 10% plus unemployment, something has to be done in the region. Something has to be done.
And we are setting on the potential for all kinds of jobs, whether it is through our coal fields, whether it is through the fracking implementation, whether it is with the, as you go to the little bit farther north, the Keystone Pipeline is actually, if it was put in place, what that provides. Our steel mill in Alton, making sure that dumping is not occurring and that tariffs are made sure they're put in place. All of these issues are issues that must be focused on to put us back in a place where we're competing on a worldwide market.
But clearly, Mike, you're off base, and here's why. Because Hillary Clinton says corporations and business do not create jobs. So how do you create jobs if businesses and corporations don't? And once again, that come off me coming off flippant is not my goal, but you understand that the party in which you're in a tussle for has a definitely different opinion of how the world works.
See, that's where they're out of touch. Government does not create jobs. Government only stands in the way of those who are. We have a great pride. Americans are entrepreneurs. They have the ability to create and work and make jobs and do all of this and compete on a worldwide level. However, we continue to put government regulations over and over and over again on every industry, every business out there, so that it stifles jobs. Government doesn't create jobs, they only stifle it. So here's the thing. Get out of the way and let us do what we do in this United States, which is go ahead and go to work and do what we do.
All right. Now, when you talk to people on the street right now, we talked about the anger. We talked about jobs. But, I very often find that whenever I talk to a group of people, I find that they really are engaged in what's going on. I bet you found that on your campaign trail. I think one of the mad...
I think more now than people want to realize. It's not about the hype. It's not about... It's trying to deal with the real issues. Get together, come together. And now the sad thing is when people say, well, it's partisanship. No, it's not partisanship. Bipartisan bills have been moved out of the House. Bipartisan bills have been moved out of the House over the Senate. It's more like what we have in the state of Illinois, where you have one person holding up the process and not allowing it to occur, and that would be Harry Reid in the Senate. But the bad thing that is they're not going to have a chance to move those other bills. Well, they could do that during lame duck session, but we've got to start working together to get ourselves on track. One
of the items that there's going to have to be some type of consensus derived from is minimum wage.
Oh, yeah. We have to come up with some kind of sensible answer. But the answer is, if you create enough jobs, the minimum wage situation actually, it raises the minimum wage. It raises it because, like we've talked about, you and I before, when Perryville, Missouri had an overabundance of jobs and they were at 2% unemployment, guess what? There were no minimum wage jobs. Everybody was being paid higher than minimum wage.
Like North Dakota now.
Yeah. Create the jobs. The minimum wage comes up naturally.
Now, we knew this was going to be a rough and tumble race. Bill knew it. You knew it. I knew it. The wall mouse knew it.
Right.
Has it met your expectations in that category? Has there been a positive that can be derived from all this negative messaging? Because the voters I've spoke to feel this has been detrimental to the process and to people's participation in the process.
Well, the problem is that we have an overabundance of involvement from the party heads, but the reality is that the issues themselves, I don't feel like have been focused on. It's everything from the rant, because if you have to deal with the issues, you've actually got to say we're not headed in the right direction, and we need to make some specific changes. And because of that, I feel like many people have not heard all the real issues. So we'll see what the next 7 days get.
And there are a lot of issues. There are, and we continue to ignore them so that we can have this. Well, I don't know what it is.
Let's look at this one. We have a situation where we have an outbreak of a disease, but Congress hasn't been in to make the vote to say, okay, if the president's not going to use his power to stop life, and blocking those, then we should. We should take charge of that and make sure that we protect ourselves from an influx of disease. Find out why it is that the disease control is so confused on how to implement and how to protect the American citizens from this virus coming in. And also, then the other issue is that the securing of our borders to the south from other things that might occur like this in a wise way, but they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything.
No, but they are going to do it after you can't do anything about it, and that's after the election. Mike, 30 seconds. If you're never spoke to again on between now and this station on the election 1 week from today, 30 seconds. Why Mike Bost?
I'm a servant. I will continue to be a servant. I've done it. I've served the people well in the 115th. I want to continue to serve them in Washington. It is time that we send somebody that will stand up for us and be vocal, and that's okay if you be vocal at the right times. And also, I've worked hard for them. I will continue to work hard for you. I'm asking for your vote.